I never thought my picture-perfect marriage would crumble, but the universe has a funny way of revealing truths when you least expect them. My story began not with a dramatic confrontation, but with a whisper of suspicion that grew into a deafening roar. It started with small, almost insignificant details. My husband, Mark, who had always been a homebody, began having late-night meetings that stretched into the early hours. A new, expensive cologne he'd never worn before lingered in the air, and his phone, once casually left on the kitchen counter, was now glued to his hand, screen down. The final clue was a single, long blonde hair on the passenger seat of his car, a stark contrast to my dark brunette locks. The pieces clicked into place, forming a painful mosaic of deceit. The man I had built my life with, the man I trusted implicitly, was living a double life. The initial shock quickly hardened into a cold, steely resolve. He had betrayed our vows, and I decided he wouldn't get away with it quietly. Tears were a luxury I couldn't afford. My energy was better spent on a more productive pursuit, revenge. I knew that a simple, private confrontation wouldn't suffice. The humiliation he had caused me needed to be mirrored back at him, but on a grander scale. Mark's biggest pride was his annual company awards dinner, an event where he schmoozed with executives and basked in the glory of his professional achievements. This year, he was set to receive the Employee of the Year award. It was the perfect stage for his downfall. I spent weeks meticulously gathering evidence, screenshots of incriminating texts he thought he'd deleted, credit card statements detailing lavish hotel stays, and even a few tastefully blurred photos from a private investigator I'd hired. I compiled everything into a slick, professional-looking presentation, timing it perfectly to replace his self-congratulatory slideshow. My heart pounded with a mixture of fear and exhilaration as the day approached. The night of the gala, I played the part of the devoted wife flawlessly. I smiled, mingled, and squeezed his hand as his name was called to the stage. As he stood at the podium, basking in the applause, he gave me a smug, confident wink. The lights dimmed for his presentation, but instead of graphs and sales figures, the screen flickered to life with the first piece of evidence. A romantic text message, not to me, but to his assistant, Jessica. The room fell into a stunned silence, broken only by a collective gasp. Image after image flashed across the screen, a highlight reel of his infidelity. Mark froze, his face draining of all color as his carefully constructed world imploded in front of his colleagues, his bosses, and the entire company. He stumbled off the stage, not to applause, but to a symphony of shocked whispers and judgmental stares. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. He lost his job, his award, and the respect of everyone he knew. Watching his public humiliation brought a grim sense of satisfaction, but it wasn't the final destination of my journey. It was the closing of a painful chapter. In the aftermath, I filed for divorce, sold the house filled with haunting memories, and used my share of the settlement to book a one-way ticket to Italy, a trip I had always dreamed of taking. As I packed my bags, leaving behind the remnants of a broken marriage, I felt a profound sense of liberation. I wasn't just a scorned wife seeking revenge. I was a woman reclaiming her power, her identity, and her future. The betrayal had wounded me, but it had also awakened a strength I never knew I possessed. I was finally free, ready to write a new story, one where I was the sole author. My life now is a testament to the fact that endings are often just new beginnings in disguise. The pain of the past has faded, replaced by the vibrant colors of a life lived on my own terms. I learned that true strength isn't about avoiding heartbreak, but about how you rise from the ashes stronger and more resilient than before.